Hi, this is Pokey86. This has been my first attempt at a Street Fighter 5 video review, so go easy on me if I do fuck it up. I'm trying to do it in this format because it hopefully will make for a better training experience. But if it turns out it's not really that good, then I will drop back to text and we'll be done with it. As you're a bronze player, I'm not expecting you to be a perfect player. I'm not expecting you to know your links, know your meaties and things like that, but the information will be more around learning your character than learning character specific things. So I won't be giving you advice on how to deal with guiles, sonic booms or flash kicks. It'll be general information that should work against several characters. It's going to be in 3 separate segments. 3 bits of advice, ruling out all the other mistakes and anything else you might be doing wrong. Just work on these 3 things, and if you can work on them and improve, then you should see your rank improve if you can get these things out of the way. There are also fundamental things that will help you if you do manage to improve your rank and play harder opponents. Nothing that's going to make you a worse player anyway. Okay, the first thing I want you to work on is this and this. And by working it, I mean you want to stop doing both, because they're fucking terrible things to do. This has so much recovery that even if they don't expect you to jump in, I mean a jump in is already punishable. This makes the jump in ridiculous. Everyone is going to punish it, even weak players. This hits ground, this doesn't hit ground. The only time you'll want to use the normal SPD is in the corner at your level, usually all the way up to platinum really. People sometimes get scared and they like to jump in the corner, and here you've got a better chance of hitting it. Otherwise, mid-screen, anywhere else, it's just not worth doing. As for this, I mean it's debatable whether that's worse than the SPD, but this is a jump in, whether it hits or misses, it doesn't combo. For it to combo, you've got to hit that really low, and even then that didn't even combo. Yeah, took me 4 attempts. Instead of doing that, go into training mode and practice this. This is a good standard jumping combo for Zangief. It's a decent combo. It keeps them grounded, and you're probably thinking, well, you want to knock them down, but you don't need to knock them down in Zangief. They're scared when you're close and they're stood up. So go in, jump, forward, medium punch. 3-hit combo. Every single one of those hits is plus on block. So even if he manages to block them, which here, he can block the second hit anyway, it gives you plus. On top of this, as a fundamental combo to start with, it gets used, once you get used to doing it and you can do it without thinking, you can start doing things like this. Jump, forward, medium, that into a tick throw. Mid-screen as well. Now, even outside of that, you can adjust the tick throw as well. Jump, forward, medium, cancel it into his running throw as well. Now, stronger players will notice this and probably jump out of it, so it's not advisable to keep doing it, but it's still an option. Either way, that is a miles better replacement than this. Yeah, that one was pretty short and sweet. But if you can change these things, this will definitely improve you as a player, because at the moment, what you're doing there loses you pressure. And I always say with grapplers need pressure. They need to maintain pressure. Maintaining pressure is everything for grapplers, because they do not like the neutral game. The neutral game is weak for them. Anywhere here, right, not here. Anywhere here is bad for them. So at the beginning of it, you're at a disadvantage. If they can get you away, you're at a disadvantage. You don't want to be there. You always want to be close, which means when you do knock them down, you need to be ready with things you want to do. But that'll be the next step anyway. Okay, the second thing is your wake up, their wake up, and V trigger. I'll do your wake up first, because I'll be able to get out of the way quickly. What you're currently doing at the moment is, you're doing, when you get knocked down, you're getting up and you're doing jab, you're blocking, which is alright to do, you're doing throw, and you're doing V trigger. Now, the jabs are fine, it's not exactly good with Zangief, but there are times you'll want to do it anyway, so it's not a bad thing to continue doing. The throws are not good to do. They don't beat anything, and the only reason you're getting away with them now is because the people you're playing are as bad with wake up as you are with wake up at the moment. But I don't need to tell you to stop doing this, because when you start playing better people, and not even far off, you know, late silvers, early golds, they're going to start punishing you for just doing this on wake up. This should never ever be done on wake up. This is a terrible thing to do on wake up. It loses to everything. You waste your V trigger. You don't even get V trigger for the damage you're taking. It should never ever be done on wake up. When I'll get onto V trigger now. When you activate your V trigger at the moment, you're doing it raw, and it's just not a good thing to do raw. You'll always want to activate your V triggers with a normal, and with Zangief you'll generally want to do it off stand roundhouse and standing fierce. The reason you want to do it off of these is that gives you opportunities to hit confirm whether it's hit or not. And if you do fierce, say you do an SPD, I'll start that again. Say you do an SPD, they go for a slow wake up. You can do that and you can see there if it hits, and if it hits you go straight into a combo. If it doesn't hit, first attack on me, yeah. If it doesn't hit, you can do that and then combo off a free jab. That gives him a free jab hit confirm, and you should be able to, with enough time, hit confirm off a free jab whether it's going to do full damage. And even if you don't even bother hit confirming, even if you don't even bother hit confirming, you have until that point to realise that it's a combo and continue with whatever you want to continue with. But yeah, the gist of this bit is basically never activate V trigger raw. There's not much reason to do it. Always that into V trigger or that into V trigger. They're both combo. You can hit confirm, and V trigger, his free jabs into activating V trigger is a really strong combo and something you'll really want to develop anyway. The last thing is their wake up. Now, I mean, if you look at Ryu and Nash, you think what are their fundamentals? You probably say zoning. If you look at Karin and Chun-Li, you probably say footsies. What I believe grapplers, their fundamentals are is set pieces. Set pieces are every situation that forces an advantage on wake up. Be that forward throw, back throw, SPD, air SPD, that train move, that one. And there are just too many of these for me to go into every one, but if you type in on Google Zangief Oki setups, it will probably come up with a dozen videos showing you things you can do on these wake ups. I'm going to go into one though, which is a situation you're probably going to be in at least once a game, which is SPD. Alright, what you're currently doing is this. You're doing SPD, you're dashing forward, and you're going headbutt, headbutt, right? Now, as you could see there, he slow waked up and it didn't hit. He slow waked up, whatever. But we're going to see how effective this is, right? All I've recorded on his wake up is a jab, a wake up jab. Now your aim is to do something that beats that. That's all. When you do something after this, you want it to beat a jab. That, beating a jab. The problem with what you're doing here with the double headbutt is if he fast wakes up, where are you? Back recovery. Bear in mind on throws, which is a lot of what Zangief does, that they can't back recover. So I've set him to back recover, but he's not going to do it. That only gives him normal recover and slow recover. What you're doing is dash, headbutt, right? Dash, headbutt, loses to jab. So already you're throwing away your pressure. After an SPD, a quick workaround to this is just walk forward a tiny bit, and there you go, you've beaten it. And I'm pretty sure if it hits counter hit, you can get a sweep on it. That could be wrong. No, not far enough. But the point is with this is, if he does that and he doesn't fast wake up, you've got plenty of time to do something else. Obviously, you can also go for one throw into another throw. I must have to do it quicker. See, and that will beat jab. Generally, this is something you will want to go in training mode on because you want to maximise. These are the set pieces for grapplers. This is where they want to be. They want to be here. They want you to have a knockdown and they want to force you into a guessing game. If you're not making the most of these, then you're not playing grapplers properly. An easy way to just try this out is try a move and try and beat the jab. That's all you want to try and beat. To record the jab, you just go and record wake up actions, go on this, and then do a crouch jab until that says reversal in the corner. After that, you go and set wake up option, set it to on, and now every time you knock him down, I've got him set to guard. Every time you knock him down, once he gets up, he does a jab. And if you can work it so that you can beat that after every knockdown, then you've got yourself a wake up game. And a wake up game is what you want when you're playing a grappler. And that's basically everything for the second point. The last one's the third point, which would be zoners. Okay, the last point, which came as a bit of a surprise to me, was well, half a surprise, was obviously zoners were causing you problems. There was a Ryu that I watched who basically he had your number. Every time you jumped in, he hit you with a roundhouse, and he basically kept you away with fireballs through most of the games. He was a bit of a prick as well. He taunted you, but I mean, as Zangief, you're going to have to kind of deal with that, people playing keep away. The other one was a Guile who kept you away, and Guiles can keep you away far easier than Ryu's can, but they have a worse corner game. Lastly, the other one was Rashid, who kept Eagle Spiking you. Now, Eagle Spike does like 150 damage, and you started realising this, and you started using this to break it and then hit throws, which was really good. It was a really good idea and really worked. But your problem was, and it fucking shocked me to no end, was the second you took the grey damage and you hit him with a throw, you've got this 150 grey life, and you've continued pressuring, knowing really that if he hits you with a jab, and as your wake up is quite bad, there was a good chance he was going to hit you with something, that you're going to lose about 200 damage because he's done this with Rashid. And Rashid does fucking no damage to begin with. His Eagle Spike happens to do a lot of damage, but that's like the only move that does it. You need to be way more cautious when you're using anything that has armor. I mean, there were some times when you got hit by two different things and you were still going in for pressure, and it was just fucking crazy. But armor overall is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a really strong tool. I use with Mika, when I'm playing zoners, I use her mic toss, which is nowhere near as good as Zangief's armor saving thing. I hold back at the beginning. You want to get a general idea of the kind of person you're playing, right? So at the beginning of the match against zoners, we're talking Guile and Ryu and maybe Nash. You want to stand back a bit and see what they do. If they want to stay back and throw projectiles, then let them throw a few projectiles, jump over a few. Eventually, they're going to start thinking, well, fine, you can stay at the back and I'm just going to sit here firing fireballs and beat you, right? But you can use this to your advantage. If we go to this and we take this all to normal, yeah, that should work. If we go to this, start at the beginning, I've set him to record just firing a couple of fireballs, right? So, playback on. This is the beginning of the match. Most people will sit there and fire some fireballs, right? Now you're thinking, you're getting nowhere, you want to be up close, right? And he's happy firing fireballs. But you want to push him to the corner anyway, and pressure during a zoner game is pretty weak. If you're happy to sit back for a while, do this to a couple of fireballs. Block it. Now I know what you're thinking, you're getting nowhere, but you're building V-gauge, and V-gauge in this is gold dust. If you can get it earlier, the better. If you're lucky enough you can get 2 V-gauges, one hit, then more than, the more the merrier, right? So just sit back, guard a couple, don't get carried away and guard everything, because then he's going to really want to go in just for the extra damage. One other thing as well is, I saw you doing it a couple of times, you were absorbing armor with this, with Fierce. There's loads of reasons not to do this, not to less that this is just a shitload easier, and it blocks 2 instead of 1. And this eventually will make the Ryu or the Guile player stop trying to fire fireballs just to beat you. And as Guiles have a 2-hit projectile, he can comfortably absorb them with this and just stay back. You're gaining more than he is from doing this. I think you build V-gauge from doing that as well. Do you get V-gauge or bar? Oh, you don't get anything, that's a shame. Alright, there's no much reason to do that then. But basically, when you get them here, you get the zoners in the corner, you want to keep them in the corner. So patience is everything when you're playing zoners. Once they're in the corner, keep them in the corner. Do this, stay around this range. If they jump, you can jump light, you can jump roundhouse, you can jump fierce, you can crouch high punch, you can stand low punch. He has loads of things to do as anti-hits. once they get scared of doing anything, if they neutral jump from this distance, one of the reasons you stand, if they neutral jump from this distance, you get a roundhouse. Alright, you don't even have to do anything after this roundhouse. Don't worry, stay where you are. They can't do anything. They can't do anything from that distance. And you're happy to win games doing this. Alright, once they stop and they get scared and they stop doing stuff, you've got loads of other options available. That is hard to react against. Eventually people will start reacting it, but you don't have to worry about that now. And that's a decent strategy for dealing with zoners, certainly for the moment. But this also involves you working on your anti-airs, and he's got plenty of anti-airs. That I guess. Stand roundhouse for a distance, mainly stand light punch is a really good anti-air for beating everything. Even if you don't get much out of it, you should still be comfortable with using it. It's quite easy to use. And that's the third point. Just to end this is the first time I've done one of these videos. I'd appreciate if you think this was more worthwhile than me just, you know, writing a long post and, you know, you basically taking the advice from that. I tried to make this a bit more engaging and actually showing people the things they need to work on. I'm trying to keep it small. There are plenty of faults that it could have used on. I could have went all day, but I'm just trying to make it so just to give you a few things to work on that will hopefully make you better rather than overwhelming you with too much. And that's it really. That's all I've got to say. Oh, that does combo. I had no idea. God, I suck. Oh, Jesus. How the fuck did I ever make it a diamond? Cool. Cheers for listening, I guess. Thanks.